Before I dive into these 14 principles, I want to ask you something. And I want you to answer with your gut, not your head. Are you truly living, or are you just surviving? Because let me tell you something, most people aren't alive. They're breathing, they're moving, they're functioning, but they're not living. Why? Because they're caught in a cycle, a loop of habits, fears, and distractions. And deep down, they know something's missing. This speech isn't about giving you more information. It's about transformation. It's about shaking something loose inside of you. It's about remembering who the hell you really are and what you're truly capable of when you stop living small. What I'm about to share with you isn't theory. These are battle-tested, soul-forged principles that have changed lives, mine included. But you've got to lean in. You've got to listen like your life depends on it, because in some ways it does. So if you're ready to stop existing and start truly living, then stay with me. These 14 principles could be the wake-up call your life has been waiting for. Let me tell you something that changed my life forever. Clarity is power. It's not a cliche. It's the absolute truth. Most people are not suffering from a lack of talent, a lack of heart, or even a lack of time. They're suffering from a lack of clarity. They wake up, go through the motions, chase things that don't fulfill them, and then wonder why they feel stuck. They're climbing a ladder of success only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall. You want to know why that happens? Because they never took the time to define who they are and what they truly want. Not what the world told them to want, not what their parents, their friends, or society programmed them to pursue. I'm talking about what your soul is hungry for. You've got to get radically honest with yourself. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What are your non-negotiables? Until you answer those questions, life will feel like a storm you're trying to navigate without a compass. You'll find yourself saying yes to things you should have said no to. You'll chase validation instead of vision. And that's a dangerous place to live from, because when you're unclear, you're vulnerable. You become a passenger in your own life instead of the driver. But here's the good news. The moment you decide to get clear, everything changes. When you know exactly what you value, every decision becomes easier. You stop second guessing yourself. You stop getting pulled in 1,000 directions. Stop trying to please everyone. Because when your direction is clear, your energy is focused. And when your energy is focused, you become unstoppable. You see, clarity isn't just knowing what you want. It's knowing why you want it. Because the what gives you the goal, but the why gives you the fuel. If your why is strong enough, you can endure any how. You can push through fear, failure, and fatigue. Clarity brings that kind of power. It's the difference between someone who dabbles and someone who dominates. Think about the most fulfilled people you've ever seen. People who are on fire. People who light up a room just by walking into it. You think that's an accident? No. That's clarity in motion. That's a life built on vision, not reaction. That's someone who woke up one day and said, no more drifting. I know who I am. I know where I'm going. And I'm not settling for less. Clarity doesn't mean you'll never doubt yourself, but it does mean that even when doubt shows up, it doesn't control you. You'll still have days when you're tired. You'll still face obstacles, but clarity becomes the internal compass that brings you back to center. When life tries to throw you off track, and it will, you'll know how to course correct because your vision is locked in. And here's the truth. Clarity is a choice. You don't wait for it, you create it. You don't sit around hoping your purpose magically shows up. You go out and hunt it down. You try, you fail, you reflect, you strip away what's not you so what is you can finally breathe. You write your values down, you revisit them, you tattoo them on your heart. Because when you're rooted in clarity, you can handle the storm. You can lead others. That you can build a life that's not only successful, but deeply meaningful. So I'm going to challenge you tonight or tomorrow morning. Get quiet, no distractions, no phones, just you and your truth. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Who do I want to become? What must I no longer tolerate? And when you find those answers, don't just admire them, live by them. Because the moment you get clear is the moment your life begins to shift. Most people are addicted to comfort. They're chasing it in every form. Comfort in routine, in relationships, in emotions, even in their dreams. But I've got news for you. Nothing extraordinary comes from comfort. Growth demands discomfort. It demands risk. It demands that you stretch further than you think you can and then keep going. If you're not feeling a little scared, a little uncertain, a little outside your element, then you're probably not growing. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. You've got to make a choice. Do you want to be comfortable or do you want to live a life that excites you? Because if you're playing it safe, if you're always looking for the easy road, the convenient option, the path that guarantees no failure, you're also guaranteeing no greatness. And deep down, you know that. You were built for more. That fire inside of you wasn't meant to be contained by fear or convenience. Let me be real with you. Growth is messy. It's painful. It will stretch you, break you open, force you to confront everything you've been avoiding. It'll challenge the way you think, the way you act, the way you show up in the world. But that's exactly what makes it powerful. That's how transformation happens. Think back to every breakthrough you've ever had. Was it born from ease? Or did it come from a moment where you were pushed to your edge? Maybe you hit rock bottom. Maybe life forced you to evolve. Maybe you got so sick of your own excuses that something snapped inside and you finally said enough. That's the birthplace of growth. That moment where you choose to rise instead of retreat, where you lean into the fear instead of run from it. You've got to start seeing discomfort as a signal, not a warning. So it's not telling you to back off. It's telling you to lean in, to pay attention. Discomfort is the gateway to your next level. But here's the key. You can't just visit discomfort when it's convenient. You've got to live there for a while. You've got to sit in it, breathe through it, and let it work on you. Because it's in that space, the stretch zone, that the old you starts to fall away and the real you begins to emerge. Some of you are waiting for permission to grow, waiting for the right time, the right resources, the perfect plan. But life doesn't give you permission slips. It gives you moments, tiny windows where you feel the tug to do more, to be more, to break free. And if you ignore them, they fade. But if you act on them, your whole life can change. I'm not talking about reckless risk. I'm talking about intentional discomfort, choosing the harder conversation, saying yes to the opportunity that scares you, letting go of the identity that no longer fits, standing up when it's easier to stay small. You've got to train yourself to run toward what challenges you, not away from it. That's how you build mental strength. That's how you grow emotional resilience. That's how you become unshakable. And let's be clear, growth isn't a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. It's waking up every day and asking, where can I get better? It's refusing to coast, refusing to settle. It's deciding that good enough is no longer good enough. That every day, in every area, you're going to find a way to level up. You want a life that feels alive? Then stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth. Trade easy for meaningful. Trade predictable for powerful. Because the version of you that you're becoming, that extraordinary version, it's not hiding in the safe zone. It's waiting for you on the edge of your limits. And the moment you make peace with discomfort is the moment you take control of your future. There's something powerful I want you to understand. You cannot step into the future you're meant to have while dragging the weight of your past behind you. No, I don't care how strong you think you are, how much you've achieved, or how much you've endured. If you're still holding on to old stories, old pain, old identities, and old habits, you're holding yourself back. It's like trying to run a marathon while carrying a 100-pound backpack. You can move, sure, but not at the speed you were meant to, not with the freedom you deserve. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. Understanding that what you carry with you today, the emotional baggage, the limiting beliefs, the hurt, the guilt, the old fears, they're not serving you. They've already played their part. They were lessons, yes, but they're not your life. They were chapters in your story, but they don't define the rest of your journey. And it's time to stop letting them hold you hostage. I know it's not easy. We're all attached to something, aren't we? Whether it's a relationship that once felt right but no longer fits, a past failure that still stings, or an identity we've outgrown but don't know how to leave behind. We hold on because it's familiar, because we think it's safe. But here's the thing. Familiarity is the enemy of growth, and safety is just another word for stagnation. When you choose to let go of old grudges, of toxic people, of outdated versions of yourself, you are making space for the new. You're clearing up the clutter so something more powerful can step in. And I promise you, whatever you let go of, life will always replace it with something greater if you allow it. Now, I'm not saying you should forget. Forgetting is impossible, but releasing is a choice. It's a conscious decision to no longer give power to the things that happened in the past, to no longer let those past experiences control the way you see the world or the way you see yourself. You can't live forward if you're constantly looking behind you. So ask yourself, what are you holding on to? What's keeping you stuck? What's weighing you down? It might be fear of failure. It might be past trauma. It might be a belief that you're not good enough. Whatever it is, it's time to let it go. Not for the other person, not to prove anything to anyone else, but for you, for the person you're becoming, for the freedom that comes when you stop carrying that dead weight around. Letting go is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Every time you face a fear, a doubt, a limiting belief, you have a choice. Do I carry this with me or do I let it go? Every time you feel the pull of old patterns, whether it's procrastination, perfectionism, or people-pleasing, you get to choose. Do I carry this or do I release it? This is your life. You are in control of what stays and what goes. And here's something important. When you let go, you make space for something greater to come in. I've seen it time and time again. When people finally release the toxic relationships, the self-doubt, the habits that are holding them back, the right opportunities begin to show up. The right people begin to enter their lives. The right mindset begins to shift into place. And suddenly, life doesn't feel like a struggle anymore. It feels like a flow. Everything starts to align because you've created space for it to do so. But here's the catch. You can't just let go of the negative. You've also got to let go of the outdated version of yourself. The person who thinks they can't, the person who believes they're not worthy, the person who holds on to old self limitations. To step into the new you, the best version of you, you've got to release the old self that no longer serves you. It's time to stop hiding behind the stories you've told yourself about who you are and step into the power of who you can become. So I ask you again, what do you need to let go of? What is it that's holding you back? Whether it's a past mistake, a toxic belief, or an old habit that no longer fits the person you want to be, it's time to release it. Because the moment you do, you'll experience a shift. You'll feel lighter, you'll feel more free, and most importantly, you'll feel more aligned with the life you were meant to live. Let go and let yourself soar. If you want to change your life, there's one thing you have to do: raise your standards. Most people, if they're being honest, are living far beneath their potential because they've settled for what's easy. They've settled for what's comfortable. They've settled for what's good enough. And here's the truth. Good enough will never be enough if you want to create a life that excites you. If you want to experience greatness, you must raise your standards to a level that forces you to grow, forces you to show up, forces you to be the person you were always meant to be. Your standards determine your life. Your standards are the invisible boundaries you've set for yourself. They're the rules you've decided to live by. And if those standards are low, you're only ever going to attract low-level experiences. You're only ever going to create a life that is fine, okay, or just getting by. You'll get the job, the relationship, the body, and the income that you're willing to settle for. But you won't get the extraordinary life that you're truly capable of until you decide once and for all that your standards are non-negotiable. Think about it. Every area of your life, your health, your wealth, your relationships, your career is governed by the standards you set. You get the level of success you demand from yourself, not the level of success you hope for, wish for, or someday maybe dream about. And the moment you raise your standards, the world around you starts to shift. People treat you differently. Opportunities start to present themselves. Your actions become more deliberate, more purposeful, and more powerful. But raising your standards isn't just about asking for more from the world. It's about asking for more from yourself. You can't just demand more from your relationships, your career, or your finances without first demanding more from your own actions, your own discipline, and your own mindset. The truth is, you won't rise to the level of your goals. You will fall to the level of your standards. If you want to accomplish something extraordinary, you've got to hold yourself to extraordinary standards. Let's be real here for a second. We all have moments when we've settled. We've all had those times when we've accepted mediocrity because it felt easier than doing the work, facing the discomfort, or making the sacrifice. But every time we do that, we give away our power. Every time we lower our standards, we shrink ourselves. And over time, that starts to add up. The next thing you know, you're no longer just accepting mediocrity in one area of your life, you're accepting it in every area of your life. The key to unlocking the next level of your life is to stop tolerating anything less than greatness. That means holding yourself accountable for the small things. It means saying no to distractions, saying no to procrastination, saying no to negative influences, and saying no to any behavior that doesn't align with your highest self. But it also means saying yes to opportunities that challenge you, to actions that push you, to habits that elevate you. It means deciding that your life is worth the investment, that your future is worth the effort, and that your dreams are worth the sacrifice. One of the most powerful ways to raise your standards is to get clear on what you truly want. Most people are willing to settle because they've never taken the time to define what they want out of life. They let life happen to them instead of making life happen for them. When you don't have a clear vision of what you want, it's easy to get distracted, to fall off track, and to settle for less than you deserve. But when you get crystal clear on your vision, on what you want your life to look like, everything changes. You start making decisions from a place of purpose, not convenience. You start taking actions that align with your goals. You start raising your standards to meet your vision. And here's what's amazing. When you raise your standards, you raise your capacity. You'll start doing things that you think you were capable of. You'll start achieving things that others said were impossible. The things that once seemed out of reach suddenly seem within your grasp because you've decided that you're no longer willing to tolerate anything less than your best. You'll begin to show up in ways you never thought possible. You'll become the person you need to be to create the life you've always dreamed of. But understand this, raising your standards is not a one-time event, it's a lifestyle. It's a daily commitment to showing up as the best version of yourself, to refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It's waking up every morning and asking, how can I be better today? How can I raise my standards in every area of my life? And when you do that, you'll not only transform your life, you'll transform the lives of everyone around you. Because when you raise your standards, you raise the bar for everyone who interacts with you. You show them what's possible. You show them what's possible for themselves. So the question is, what's your standard? And are you willing to raise it to match the life you're capable of living? The moment you do, everything changes.